This changes everything.
All to the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, still the reigning heavyweight
Usyk versus Fury 2 in the rematch. Usyk comes victorious with a 116 to 112 unanimous decision victory. This is the end of an era. And also with all the drama that went on with the longest face-off in history, the beard fiasco, and with Fury's trunks being as high as Snoop Dogg. I mean, a lot definitely went on. A ton of mind games being exchanged by both camps. But in the end, we got to see them in the ring to finally settle things. I mean, he's got 2 wins over Fury now. Surprisingly enough, Fury actually done better in the first fight than he did now. But what this fight proves to us is that skills always pays the bills. And this marks the end of an era. The era in which the big heavyweights of the modern times dominated, such as Vladimir Klitschko, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, the likes of Deontay Wilder, peak guys that are just giants of the sport. But now all of those has been absolutely dismantled by the smaller guy with more skills, and this brings forth the new generation and the new era of boxing, which is the faster, more skillful heavyweights such as Mike Tyson in the past and now Alexander Usyk. Fury coming into this fight though definitely tried to use his size to his advantage, coming in at 281 pounds. That's 50 pounds heavier than Usyk's 226 pounds. He tried to do a Wilder job on him, a demolition job. But the problem with that is that you can come in heavier with someone who is a punching bag, who can't fight going backwards. But Usyk, you see, is a tremendous fighter going backwards. He can counter you and he can move his head. And the main difference between Wilder and Usyk is that Usyk is constantly moving his head, lateral movement. So no matter how heavy you are, you're not going to catch him the same way that you're going to be able to trap and catch Wilder. That was Fury's biggest mistake, because he came into this fight thinking that he can just bully Usyk. Being the bigger guy, he can just push him around, which proved to be Tyson Fury's biggest mistake, because coming in at that weight, as such a heavy weight, putting all your stakes into one strategy, which is just to demolish Usyk with your weight. And when that doesn't work, well, you're going to have to carry all that 281 pounds on that ring. I mean, he couldn't use his footwork as much as he normally does because you can't bounce around with that much weight. I mean, this fight was such a high level that most people in the naked eye, it can seem closer than what it would be, just because none of them made that much of a mistake. Like, they operated at such a high level in their boxing abilities. Both guys' defense was on point. You didn't really see a lot of mistakes. That's why it's very difficult to judge it. But the main difference is that even though both fighters didn't do a ton of mistakes, Usyk was by far the better fighter in that he implemented and he done a little bit more in every aspect of boxing. All throughout the fight, Usyk was just being a little bit more active. Usyk was landing a little bit more. So Usyk's ring generalship, activity, footwork and accuracy eventually won him the fight. But you know how the Gypsy King is. Never retreat, no surrender. So in Tyson Fury fashion, he refuses to acknowledge this loss, saying that he even won 3 rounds definitively.
I swear to God, if I won it by these 3 rounds, I'll always believe until the day I die I won that fight.
In claiming that Usyk got a gift victory from the judges. Hey, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year indeed.
Ukrainian judges?
Well, they might as well have been.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I can fucking say it this time, can't I? I felt a little bit of Christmas spirit in there, and I think he got a little Christmas gift from them judges.
But Fury's loss completely changes the heavyweight landscape, being the last man standing of the 3 kings of AJ, Wilder, and Fury himself. This is a new era. This changes everything. It's a completely different scene now with the reign of Usyk. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago, out of all those guys, I mean, you had AJ, you had Wilder, you had Fury, massive guys. Who would have thought it would be a small Ukrainian, a cruiserweight, that would reign over all of them? I mean, boxing is crazy, especially the heavyweights. But this solidifies that the old debate stating that modern fighters, being as big as they are, gigantic in their statures, would absolutely obliterate the older fighters like Mike Tyson, Jack Dempsey, Rocky Marciano, Ali even, George Foreman, that those guys were smaller in stature. This fight just proves that those guys was bred differently. And like looking back in hindsight, Mike Tyson would absolutely destroy Tyson Fury. I mean, it would be a massacre. And that's what Fury's always struggled with. Even with his fight with Steve Cunningham, he said that the smaller, slicker fighters were always the hardest one for him. Because he's so big and tall, it's hard for him to react that quickly towards faster and more explosive fighters. So Usyk always presented the most problem for him. And in boxing, there's just some guys that has your number. Meaning, no matter how many times you fight, these guys will just always get the edge over you. Kind of like Ali versus Kenny Norton or Marquez versus Pacquiao. There's just certain guys that just knows how to fight you and knows how to beat you. And I feel like this is the same with Usyk and Fury. Usyk just has Fury's number. Their styles makes the fights. And this fight is a nightmare for Fury. Usyk's style is tailor-made to beat Fury. And if they fight 2, 3, 4, 5, however many times they fight, Usyk will always have the upper hand. I mean, it sucks to see Fury lose. I mean, I would have wanted him to win, personally. Being from England, you always want the Brit to win. I'm just glad that both of the fighters came out relatively unscathed. I mean, they came out both healthy, and that's the greatest win and success in life. Health is wealth. Not to mention being a few bucks richer after the fight. Hey, that's like the best painkiller. That helps with a little bit, even though you got a few bumps and bruises, a few black eyes. When you check that bank, you're like, oh, hey, you know what? My body don't hurt that much no more. I mean, Fury is estimated to be earning $76 million from this fight, which is a 40% split of the 40-60 split from the fight purse that they've agreed to, leaving Usyk with $114 million. Hey, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh out here moving like Trump, making boxing great again. And another fascinating and game-changing factor that was introduced in this fight was the AI judging system. It's interesting because it gave out the score of 118 to 112 for Usyk. I mean, it's quite similar and fairly accurate towards the actual official scorecards of 116 to 112 unanimous decision. It's not official scorecards, but in the future, we might be looking at a new scoring system in a more fairer and accurate judging system for fights. I mean, this would definitely help, let's say, for fights that are very close, that are judged by the human judges as a draw. This could be the defining factor which separates the definitive winner. Or in the case of an extremely controversial decision, the AI judging system can be used to appeal that decision. Overall, though, that was still a great event. What a way to finish off the year. And really, that was the cherry on top. What's next for these guys? I mean, it could be anything, really. Usyk, the world is his oyster. He can pick and choose whoever he wants to fight, and he's earned the right to do so. Dubois came in there challenging him.
Well, I want my revenge. I want my revenge, Usyk. Well done on tonight. Well done on tonight. God bless. I want my revenge for the robbery last time. Let's get it.
I don't know if that's the best thing. 2 fights, back-to-back rematches with British fighters. I mean, he's already done it with AJ, Fury. I don't really want to see him go back-to-back with Dubois now. I want him to go off somewhere. To be honest, I would really like a Wilder fight. Might as well complete the 3 kings. And if he beats Wilder, he's got all of them. And puts him right at the top of the heavyweight division. And cements himself as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But as for Fury, I would really like him to just take the time off a little bit, regain himself, get his composure back, and possibly a warm-up, tune-up fight, and then fight AJ towards the end of the year. Or he can jump straight to it, depending on how he's feeling mentally and physically. The best advice I have for Tyson, keep going to the gym. Don't get, too hammered in the pubs and drinking and partying, this and that. Just stay focused to this. Don't let the loss play in your mind and just keep going to the gym. You'll bounce right back up. Look, even though Tyson Fury lost, it was still a relatively competitive fight. And Tyson Fury is still the number 2 heavyweight right now. Even though he lost back-to-back to Usyk, there's no one out there that you can say is better than Tyson Fury except Usyk. Usyk is just in a different level right now. He's in a league of his own. But apart from Usyk, I would say Tyson Fury is still the best by far than anyone else. And I would say he would go on to beat Joshua Wilder again if they ever fight. But he can beat Zhang, he can beat Dubois, he can beat all these guys. It's just that Usyk is at the top right now. So I hope you like this video, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Taz Talks Fighting. Let me know what you think about the fight. Comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.